If you walk into the same class and you get kicked out in the first 15 seconds every time, why are you still using the same strategy? Because that's what most people do with the one teacher they can't stand. They keep running the same play, then act shocked when the exact same consequence lands. Same fight, same strategy, same wipe. This video isn't a teachers are all villains video. Most teachers are doing their job, running routines, managing 25 or more kids at a time, and responding to what they see. This video is about control. Not control over the teacher, control over your outcome. Because if you can learn the mechanics of that classroom, you stop feeling helpless. You stop getting clipped for the same stuff, and you start staying in the room long enough to actually win the lesson and learn something at the same time. In games, boss fights feel unfair until you learn the mechanics. Like, when the boss hits 70%, it switches phases. That attack punishes greedy movement. If I stand here in this stuff on the ground, I get deleted. Well, in real life, some teachers have mechanics too. It's not written on the wall though, and it's very hard to jump on YouTube and find a guide for Mrs. Smith, the 7th grade hums teacher. It's not explained perfectly, but it's real. And the mistake is walking in thinking, I'm just going to be me. I'll do what I always do. And if it goes wrong, well, it's unfair. It's like running into a boss fight, getting wiped and saying, this game is trash. It's like, no, you just haven't learned the mechanics yet. So, step 1, identify your build or your playstyle. Every kid has a playstyle. Some students are warrior berserker types, direct, loud, front on, fast reactions, big emotions, big presence. Others are more like a rogue or a sniper type, quiet timing, minimal attention, strategic moments, and they speak when it counts. And here's the truth, some teachers handle the warrior build just fine, but a lot of teachers do not respond well to head-on confrontation, especially publicly in front of the class. So if your default build is a frontline juggernaut, and you're using it in a classroom where that gets punished, you'll just keep wiping. You keep getting kicked out. It's not that your build is bad, it's just not the meta. Step 2, learn the phases. Boss fights have phases. Classrooms do too. Most lessons follow a routine like stage 1, walk in, mark off the role, instructions, intro to the class, expectations are laid out. Stage 2, independent work time, intermission, transition, pack up, moving around. Stage 3, teachers roaming around the room, checking with people, helping people, correcting work. Now here's the key. A behaviour can be fine in one phase and a punishable offence in another. For example, if you're talking, some teachers will tolerate a bit of talk during work time. But during the instructions, that's instant aggro pull, like you are 100% going to attract attention towards yourself. So when students say, but everyone else is talking, my response is, well maybe. But maybe they're talking in this safe window, and you're doing it in the punish window. That's mechanics. So step 3, you do a scout run. You play safe. You collect data. If a boss keeps deleting you in a game, you do a scout run. You don't go in trying to win, you go in trying to figure out what the hell keeps taking you out. You're trying to learn. In school terms, that means for a short time you play painfully safe. Not weak, not fake, but strategic. Because if the teacher's current mechanic is, I'm watching you for anything borderline, well, then borderline is exactly where you get clipped. So if you remove their favourite punish button, it works out much better for a short amount of time, gives you the leeway. So you need to give extra space, you reduce your volume of speech, you choose timing, you stop handing them easy calls to kick you out. And yes, this takes a lot of self-control, but that self-control gives you something back. Power. Not power over the teacher, power over the pattern. So if you're not a gamer, some of this won't really matter to you. So let's change it up and talk about sports. Let's talk about playing to the whistle Let's say you've got a ref in netball and they're calling obstruction really tight. That's where you've got to be more than 90 centimeters, a meter away from the player that you're trying to guard. Well, if they're calling that tight, you're going to think that's harsh. But arguing doesn't change them calling that consistently. So what do smart players do? Well, they adjust. They give a bit more space until they learn where that ref's threshold is, and then they play right on that edge. That's what play to the whistle means. It means if you think the game isn't being called by the rules that you're used to playing by, well, figure out what rules they're going by, because it's got to be close enough to the game itself. Same thing works in classrooms. If the teacher's threshold is lower for you right now, whether that's fair or not, you've got two options. Keep doing the same thing and keep getting pinged, or learn the threshold, adapt, and stop feeding the cycle. Let's talk about what to test. We'll do a little micromechanics checklist. When a student says to me, after getting in trouble, that I didn't even do anything, why zoom in? Because the mechanic is usually one of these. It'll be timing. What were you doing? When? Were you doing it during the instruction part of the lesson? Volume. Was it louder than you think? Your audience. Were you just performing for your mates? You'd be very surprised how often that's the issue. The target even. Who are you talking to? If there is somebody that you're always in trouble with, and that's the person you're talking to, your usual partner in crime, chances are that's probably who you're going to get pinged with again. Your body position. Were you facing away from the teacher? Were you rolling your eyes? Were you slumped? Were you doing something to draw attention to yourself that wasn't like other people in the room? Proximity can be a big one. For those that don't understand, that's being like too close or too restless, too much movement. For some teachers, sitting at the back of the room is actually something which attracts their attention. They look there first because, let's admit it, that's usually where the naughty kids sit. Sitting at the front of the room can often make volume louder too. If you're too close to the front, well, even a whisper is easier to hear. So, you need to try and figure out what teacher you've got. This is why some students, especially those who have like a really strong sense of justice and fairness, they benefit massively from viewing this as a boss fight. Even my students, especially who are autistic as well, these rules are not necessarily written. It turns this invisible, messy social world into something that you can test. Like, if I change this, well, does the outcome change for me? That's learning mechanics. So let's talk about the human factor. The fact that your teacher isn't from a game. They're a person. They're human. Some days they're going to be relaxed. Some days they're stressed. This means that the same teacher can feel like a different boss on different days. So part of this skill is walking in and asking, well, what version of the boss am I getting today? Sometimes you'll need the first 10 minutes of class to get there and get a bit of a read on what the teacher's like today. Chances are, if they are late in the afternoon, looking a bit upset, not really talking to many people as they walk in or acknowledging them, you're probably in for a higher difficulty boss. Whereas, as you walk in the class, one of the first classes of the day, well, that time of the day is probably easier. They have a higher threshold for patience. They're probably a bit happier, and they're probably going to be in easier mode as a boss. So here's your quick checklist for the next time you walk into that class. First, what phase are we in? Are we in the instruction phase? Are we in the work phase? Are we in a transition phase? Are we in a phase that's safe to do certain things? Once you get that down, you'll find class gets a lot easier. What gets punished in this room? This is point number 2. Does this particular teacher punish the volume of speech? If you're disruptive, is it how loud you are? Is it you moving around the room? Are they very receptive or reactive to your tone? Or is it just timing? Step 3. Do a scout run if you've been getting clipped. If you keep getting kicked out of classes or having an issue with a teacher, stop and go in and try a really, really good lesson where you do not get in trouble at all. But your job that lesson is to pay attention and figure out what it is that other people are getting in trouble for. Checklist point number 4, adjust your build to the mission. If this is a stealth mission, if you've got a teacher who responds to any sound, don't make sound. That's how you adjust your build. If you're used to being a juggernaut, it's time to learn how to play the rogue. It's time to learn how to be the sniper. And if games aren't your thing, play to the whistle. Play safe, then inch back towards where the edge is. Teachers will give you warnings. Those warnings are great because when you get one, that's an indicator that that's right where the boundary is. Just this side of it, you're fine. You keep it up where you're at, that's not okay, and they've just told you. If you want, I can do a follow-up episode. How to do a scout run without looking weak, without upsetting your reputation. And speaking of reputation, we can also talk about how to reset your reputation with a teacher. Teachers can begin to build a bit of an idea of who they think you are. And you might find that they're a bit harder on you than what they are on other people, just because you've got a history together. So we can talk about how to reset your reputation. Comment below what you prefer, whether it's how to do a scout run without looking weak, or how to reset your reputation with a teacher. And I look forward to seeing you next time on Life as an RPG. Thanks.